Welcome back. Huge releases coming up our way this year. Heavy hitters, fan favorites, and brand new IPs all dropping in 2026 and 2027. So let's break down the 20 upcoming games you absolutely need to have on your radar. Final Fantasy Resonance. Square Enix just dropped something nobody expected. The first ever Final Fantasy game done in HD 2D. The same gorgeous style you know from Octopath Traveler. Final Fantasy Resonance is based on the original story from the beloved mobile game Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, which shut down in 2025. But this is basically a full rebuild. No gacha, no microtransactions, just a clean console RPG. You play as Rain, a knight of Grandshelt, alongside his adoptive brother Laswell, and a mysterious girl named Fina. The three of them set out to protect 8 elemental crystals from a group threatening to plunge their world into darkness. Combat goes back to classic turn-based roots with a modern twist. You exploit enemy weaknesses to stagger them and open up powerful resonance attacks. This one flips the Splatoon formula completely on its head. Splatoon Raiders is the series' first ever single-player spin-off, and it's a Switch 2 exclusive. You play as the Mechanic, your own custom Inkling or Octoling, who crash lands on the mysterious Spirolite Islands and teams up with Deep Cut, that trio of swashbuckling musicians from Splatoon 3. The whole loop is about raiding islands, taking out waves of salmonid enemies, and looting gear and weapons to bring back to your hideout ship. Between raids, you upgrade your weapons using Spirolite shards, craft gadgets from enemy parts, and even upgrade the ship itself. There are over 100 weapons with different rarities and passive abilities, plus 3 ink tank types that totally change how you play. Spyro, A Realm Beyond. After 18 years, the Purple Dragon is finally back in a completely original adventure. Spyro, A Realm Beyond is developed by Toys for Bob, the same studio behind the beloved Reignited trilogy. And it's not just a remake, this is a brand new story. Spyro finds himself stranded in a mysterious realm he's never seen before, and while trying to find a way home, he's interrupted by a brutal invading force called the Scavs. He has to make new allies among the realm's inhabitants and fight back before the whole place falls. The biggest upgrade here is flight, real, free dragon flight for the first time in the series. You're not limited to short glide sections anymore. You can soar through open landscapes, weave between treetops, chain together dives and climbs, and actually navigate the world from the sky. Dragon's Dogma 2: Dark Arisen. Capcom's epic open-world action RPG finally lands on a Nintendo platform, and it's arriving with brand new content packed in. Dragon's Dogma 2: Dark Arisen includes the full base game plus the new Dark Arisen expansion, which takes the Arisen, that's your character, into the frozen northern region of Norgan. There's a new enigmatic character named Air to team up with, new enemies like ice-breathing worms, a new appraisal mechanic where you unearth ancient relics to unlock powerful weapons and skills, and 12 dungeon challenges in the Relic Expedition cycle. The core game is a massive, living open world where you travel with AI companions called pawns, fight enormous creatures in real time, and choose your own path through a story about fate and the struggle between humans and a dragon. Fire Emblem: Fortune's Weave. You're in the Dagdan Empire, which has been ruled by gods for 1,500 years. The capital city, Daxion, hosts the Heroic Games, where the grand prize is literally one wish granted to the winner. You pick one of 4 protagonists to follow. Kai, a young boy fighting to free his imprisoned father. Dietrich, a swordsman who just wants to test himself against the strongest opponents. Theodora, a queen trying to fulfill her homeland's dream. And Lita, a musician who joined with revenge in mind. Between matches, you explore Daxion, visit the training grounds, recruit new allies, and head out beyond the city walls for battles and dungeons. The combat is the classic turn-based tactics Fire Emblem fans love, now with 3D exploration and a new Blaze Arts system, risky special moves that cost you HP but hit incredibly hard. Elden Ring Tarnished Edition bundles the full base game, plus the massive Shadow of the Erdtree expansion. And it adds brand new content exclusive to this release, 2 new starting classes, new character armor sets, and even the ability to customize your Spectral Steed Torrent's appearance. The game itself is From Software's open-world action RPG set in the Lands Between, a dark fantasy world co-created with author George R.R. Martin. You play as a Tarnished, an exiled warrior who returns to become the Elden Lord by collecting the shards of the shattered Elden Ring. The world is enormous and completely open, packed with hidden dungeons, brutal bosses, and secrets that took the community years to find. From Software took extra time to get performance right on Switch 2, and recent hands-on reports say the extra work paid off. Metaphor ReFantazio. The The story is set in the United Kingdom of Ucronia, where the king has been assassinated and the kingdom is in chaos. You and your fairy companion Gallica set out to break a curse on the royal prince. And the best way to do that is to enter the grand tournament to become the next king. The combat mixes turn-based strategy with real-time action. You can thin out weaker enemies in real time, but need careful party tactics for tougher fights. The archetype system lets your characters take on different fantasy job classes, and the synthesis mechanic lets multiple party members combine their actions for devastating combo attacks. This is a proper Switch 2 port, running smoother than early previews of the PS5 version. Final Fantasy VII Revelation is the third and final chapter in Square Enix's epic remake project. Cloud and his crew are aboard the airship Highwind, racing across the entire planet to stop Meteor, the ultimate destructive spell, before Sephiroth achieves godhood. The world is now fully explorable by airship, meaning you can go anywhere. New playable characters join the fight. Vincent Valentine brings lightning-fast gunplay mixed with powerful beast transformations, while Sid Highwind uses his lance to close distances fast with big area attacks. There's also a brand new Fits system. Equip special outfits that give your whole party different movesets, inspired by classic Final Fantasy jobs like Black Mage or Warrior. For longtime fans, this is the emotional conclusion to 30 years of Final Fantasy VII storytelling. Tales of Eternia originally launched in 2001, and it's one of the early standout entries in the long-running Tales series. The story follows Reed Herschel and his friends from the world of Inferia, where two realms, Inferia and Celestia, float facing each other across the sky. When a catastrophic event called the Grand Fall threatens to make those two worlds collide, Reed, Farah, Keel, and the enigmatic alien girl Meredy have to travel across both worlds, seek out the power of the greater Kraemel, and stop the collision. The remaster runs at 60 frames per second and up to 4K resolution on Switch 2. It has a new graphics mode for modern visuals, an SFX mode to swap between original and remastered sound, adjustable encounter rates, a boost feature for experience gained, and a brand new unknown difficulty, unlockable after you beat the game. Lies of P Complete Edition brings the full experience to Switch 2 for the first time, including the base game and the Overture expansion in one package. The game puts you in the shoes of Geppetto's puppet, a version of Pinocchio, in a dark, Belle Epoque-inspired city called Krat, where mechanical puppets have gone haywire and are slaughtering the human population. You fight through this nightmare city in precise, demanding combat, where blocking at exactly the right moment replenishes your health and perfect parries stagger enemies. Your weapon assembly system is deep. You can mix and match blade types and handles from different weapons to create your own combinations with different stats and movesets. The narrative is rich with choices that affect how human or puppet-like your character becomes, and those choices matter for the ending. The Duskbloods. From Software making a Switch 2 exclusive is already wild enough. The fact that it's a brand new IP, directed by Hidetaka Miyazaki, the man behind Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and Elden Ring, makes it even more exciting. The Duskbloods is a PvPvE multiplayer action game set at the twilight of humanity, where time and space are collapsing and locations from across history are converging into one chaotic battlefield. You choose from over a dozen characters called Bloodsworn supernatural beings empowered through blood, with gothic and Victorian aesthetics that feel pulled straight from Bloodborne. Up to 8 players compete to claim the First Blood prize, but it's not pure PvP. Enemies and threats from the environment are just as dangerous. You can mark other players as companions or rivals, adding a social layer to every match. Tomb Raider: Legacy of Atlantis. Lara Croft is going back to where it all started, but completely rebuilt from scratch. Legacy of Atlantis is a full reimagining of the original 1996 Tomb Raider, running on Unreal Engine 5, developed by Crystal Dynamics and Flying Wild Hog. The story follows an experienced Lara Croft on a globe-trotting hunt for the scattered fragments of the Scion, a powerful artifact from the lost civilization of Atlantis. Unlike the original game's room-to-room design, this remake opens environments into semi-connected spaces you can freely explore from different angles, packed with secrets and collectibles. Classic puzzles return, reimagined and grounded in their real environments. The legendary T-Rex battle is back as a full cinematic boss encounter. Lara is voiced by Alex Wilton Regan, bringing a more seasoned version of the character. Rayman Legends Retold is a reimagined remake of the beloved 2013 platformer, now rebuilt in Ubisoft's Snowdrop engine with gorgeous 2.5D visuals. The original levels are back, but transformed, and there's a brand new 6th realm, 4 new musical stages, dragon riding sequences, and the return of the Cave of Trials challenges. The story now features a proper villain, stirring chaos from the underworld, and voiced cinematics bring the adventure to life. The expanded soundtrack is composed by both Christoph Herral and Banjo-Kazooie composer Grant Kirkhope. 4-player local co-op is back in full force, and Kung Foot, the frantic soccer minigame, returns with improved controls and power-ups. Ubisoft is targeting 60 frames per second on Switch 2, with full content parity to other platforms. Every copy also includes Rayman Origins Enhanced Edition, which is an absolute bonus. This one comes from Moon Studios, the team behind the gorgeous Ori games, and it couldn't be more different. No Rest for the Wicked is a dark action RPG set in a medieval world being torn apart by a mysterious disease called the Pestilence. You arrive on the island of Sakra as a Sarim, a holy warrior, but the island is in collapse, and nothing is as it seems. Combat is deliberate and weighty, not flashy. Stamina matters, dodging has to be precise, and reading enemies carefully is what keeps you alive. The visual style is stunning, a hand-painted oil painting aesthetic that makes every environment feel like a living piece of art. You explore, gather loot, craft gear, and push through a world that shifts with your choices. It hits PS5 and PC in October 2026, with the Switch 2 version following at a date that hasn't been confirmed yet. Stellar Blade. You play as Eve, an elite warrior sent from space to help reclaim Earth from terrifying alien creatures called the Nightibas. The story is about more than just fighting. It digs into the mystery of why Earth fell, what happened to humanity, and what the truth behind the invasion really is. Combat is fast, precise, and deeply satisfying. You build attack combos, time parries, and dodges, and unlock a growing set of special beta and burst skills as you progress. Boss fights are the highlight, with multi-phase encounters demanding you study attack patterns and punish openings. Character progression runs deep, with skill trees, gear upgrades, and a huge wardrobe of unlockable costumes. The Switch 2 version adds Joy-Con 2 motion controls for certain activities, something the PS5 version couldn't offer. No exact date yet, just 2026. Xenoblade Genesis is a brand new beginning for the Xenoblade series, confirmed exclusively for Switch 2 in 2027. The reveal trailer introduced a completely new world called Lukos, a whimsical fantasy world built around a mysterious energy called anima, which is described as the source of all things. The story follows students at an academy for Vesali warriors who can harness anima, and every aspect of student life is tied to unique items connected to each character. Details are still scarce, but Monolith Soft's track record speaks for itself. The Xenoblade series is known for its enormous open worlds, deep real-time combat with rich party mechanics, and emotionally powerful stories that unfold over 60+ hours. Xenoblade Genesis is positioned as a true, fresh start. No previous Xenoblade experience required to dive in. Dragon Quest Monsters: The Withered World. Square Enix delivered this one as part of Dragon Quest Day, and it looks like a love letter to Dragon Quest V fans. The Withered World is set in the same universe as DQ5, one of the most beloved entries in the franchise, and follows dual protagonists Bianca and Nira as they journey to bring life back to a dying world called Witherwood. You recruit, raise, and synthesize over 500 monsters, mixing them together to create powerful new creatures that inherit abilities and stats from their parents. The synthesis system is the heart of the game, rewarding players who experiment with smart combinations. Battles are turn-based, and there are tournaments to climb through as your team grows stronger. Unlike the previous entry's performance struggles on the original Switch, this one is releasing across platforms, with Switch 2 optimization. Lords of the Fallen 2. This is the first Lords of the Fallen game on a Nintendo platform ever, running on Unreal Engine 5 with Manite and Lumen technology. The story takes place 100 years after the first game, set in a war-torn kingdom where the realms of the living and the dead are literally bleeding into each other. That dual realm system, Axiom for the living world, Umbral for the dead, returns massively expanded. The Umbral realm is now a fully developed gameplay space with its own hazards, shifting terrain, and aggressive enemy types. Combat is faster and more brutal than before, with new weapon classes like scythes, katanas, and relic weapons, plus visceral execution finishers and shared progression co-op at launch. A new region called Yisugen, inspired by Asian mythology with towering pagodas and a massive dragon boss, adds serious visual variety to the already striking world. Kingdom Hearts 4 finally showed real gameplay at the June 2026 Nintendo Direct, and it's launching day one on Switch 2. Sora wakes up in Quadratum, a hyper-realistic city inspired by modern-day Tokyo, complete with apartment buildings, convenience stores, and a Shibuya-style crossing, while Donald and Goofy search across worlds for a way to bring him home. This city serves as the hub world between adventures in other Disney-themed realms. The Lost Master arc starts here, beginning the next chapter of the overarching Kingdom Hearts mythology. Combat carries the franchise's signature fast-paced action into the modern era, with fluid movement through Quadratum's environments and the kinds of spectacular aerial combos the series is built on. The full Kingdom Hearts collection, covering games 1 through 3, also hits Switch 2 on October 8, 2026. After months of leaks and speculation, Nintendo made it official at the June 2026 Direct. Ocarina of Time is being remade from the ground up exclusively for Switch 2, and it's coming later this year. Nintendo described it as having stunning visuals, updated designs, and timeless gameplay, and the footage shown backs that up completely. This is not a remaster, it's a full rebuild. You play as Link, a young boy from the forest, destined to travel through time and stop Ganondorf from seizing control of Hyrule and plunging the world into darkness. Its dungeons, its world design, its music, and its emotional storytelling have shaped gaming for nearly 30 years. This remake arrives during the Zelda series' 40th anniversary and just ahead of the live-action Zelda movie coming in 2027. It was already called the most popular title of Summer Game Fest 2026. 20 games, from classic RPGs rebuilt for 2026 hardware to brand new IPs from the biggest studios in the world. The Switch 2 has something for literally everyone. Drop your most anticipated game in the comments, and subscribe if you want to stay up to date on everything gaming. See you in the next one.